In a barren military training field, dust rises with every step, clinging to sweat-soaked uniforms. The sun burns overhead, a relentless eye in a cloudless sky, as marching boots strike the ground in a deafening, unified rhythm. This is a place where sweat is currency and pain is a language everyone understands. It's a place where strength is measured not in muscle, but by the will to endure, and where respect is earned the hard way, one grueling day at a time. Among the rows of nervous, wide-eyed recruits stands Elena Carter. At just 24 years old, she looks smaller than most of the men and even some of the women surrounding her. She's quieter, her presence almost blending into the background, a stark contrast to the boisterous energy of the others. She's different, and in a world that thrives on uniformity, different is dangerous. Whispers follow her like a shadow. She's too weak, they murmur, too delicate. She doesn't belong here. The words are sharp, meant to cut, to isolate. Around her neck, tucked beneath her uniform, hangs a simple silver chain. On it, two worn dog tags. They belonged to her brother, Matthew Carter. Matthew was her hero, her protector, her best friend. He died in combat 2 years ago, a hero's death on a foreign battlefield. The news shattered her world, but from the fragments of her grief, a promise was forged. Elena promised she would walk the same path, not for glory, not for revenge, but for honor. To understand his sacrifice, to carry his legacy forward, to prove that the Carter spirit was unbreakable. Every grueling push-up, every exhausting mile, every shouted order, it was all for him. At the center of the training field, a figure stands like a mountain carved from granite. Sergeant Grayson. He's a giant of a man, his face a roadmap of scars, each one telling a story of a battle won. He is feared. His voice is thunder, his gaze is steel. He is the gatekeeper, the trial by fire that every group of recruits must face. The objective is never to win against him, it's simply to survive, to show you have what it takes. His cold, calculating eyes scan the line of recruits, lingering on the nervous faces, searching for a weak link. And then they land on Elena. A small, cruel smirk forms at the corner of his mouth. The air grows thick with anticipation. "Private Carter," his voice booms across the field, silencing every whisper. "Step into the ring." The ring is just a circle drawn in the dirt, but to the recruits, it's an arena of judgment. Everyone tenses. They know what's coming. This is Grayson's favorite part of training, breaking the ones he deems unworthy. It's a public spectacle, a brutal lesson in humility. Elena takes a deep breath, her hand instinctively touching the dog tags beneath her shirt, and steps forward. The whistle blows, a shrill, piercing sound that cuts through the silence. Grayson moves with a speed that defies his size. He's a blur of motion, a force of nature. Before Elena can even process what's happening, he's on her. In a matter of seconds, she is lifted off her feet and thrown hard into the dirt. The impact knocks the wind from her lungs. Pain explodes through her body, a white-hot flash that radiates from her shoulder to her ribs. A wave of laughter erupts from the watching recruits, a mix of relief that it wasn't them and cruel amusement. "This is why women don't belong on the front lines," Grayson sneers, his voice dripping with contempt as he looms over her. "You're too fragile." Elena's cheek is pressed against the hot, gritty ground. Every muscle, every nerve begs her to stay down. The humiliation stings more than the physical pain. This is it. This is the moment they all expected, the moment she fails. But then, through the haze of pain and dust, she feels it. The cold, familiar metal of the dog tags against her chest. And in that moment, it's as if she can hear her brother's voice, a memory so clear it feels real. "Stand up, Elle. Stand up." Slowly, shakily, she pushes herself up, first to her knees, then to her feet. There's blood on her lip, a trail of dirt streaked across her face, but in her eyes, something has shifted. The fear is gone, replaced by a burning fire. The laughter around the ring dies down, replaced by a stunned silence. They expected her to cry, to quit. They didn't expect this. Grayson's smirk falters for a fraction of a second before he regains his composure. Annoyance flickers in his eyes.
He charges again, this time with more force, determined to end this quickly. But this time, Elena is ready. She doesn't try to meet his force with her own. Instead, she moves. She ducks under a sweeping arm. She slips past his grasp. She strikes. A quick, sharp jab to his ribs. It doesn't hurt him, not really, but it surprises him. Years spent in a grimy downtown boxing gym with her brother, training, come rushing back to her. The footwork, the timing, the rhythm. Pain becomes her fuel. Fear sharpens into focus. Grayson, enraged by her defiance, grabs her again and slams her to the ground. The impact is even harder this time. Voices from the crowd shout for her to quit, to just stay down. "It's over," someone yells. "You're stronger than this." And again she stands. The field is completely silent now. Every eye is locked on the girl who refuses to break. Grayson is no longer toying with her. He attacks with genuine rage, his movements becoming less precise, more brutal. But Elena is no longer just surviving, she's fighting. She anticipates his next move, a wild swing aimed at her head. As his arm comes around, she drops low, pivots, and grabs his wrist. Using his own momentum against him, she shifts her weight, plants her foot, and in one powerful, fluid motion, twists. She flips him over her hip. The ground shakes as the giant sergeant hits the dirt with a thud that echoes across the field. So does everyone watching. For a long moment, there is absolute shock. The untouchable Sergeant Grayson lies stunned on the ground, staring up at the sky. Elena stands over him, chest heaving, every part of her aching, but she is standing. Slowly, Grayson pushes himself up, dusting off his uniform. He looks at Elena, his expression unreadable. The recruits hold their breath, expecting an explosion of fury. Then he does the unthinkable. He raises his hand to his brow and gives her a sharp, formal salute, a sign of ultimate respect. A wave of applause erupts from the recruits, spreading like wildfire. It's not because she won a fight, it's because she refused to stay down. She had faced the monster, been knocked down again and again, and had risen every single time. That night, Elena sits alone on her bunk in the quiet barracks, the sounds of the base a distant hum. She pulls out the dog tags, their metal cool against her palm. She traces the letters of Matthew's name. A single tear rolls down her cheek, but it's not a tear of sadness. "I did it, Matt. I did it." They tried to break her. They saw her as small, weak, and out of place. Instead, she broke every single limit they had ever placed on her. True strength isn't about size or power. It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how many times you can get hit, how many times you can be knocked down and still find the will to rise one more time. If this story inspired you, please hit that like button. It helps us know you appreciate this kind of content. And for all of you who believe that real strength never ever quits, comment "Rise" down below. I want to see how many of us there are. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more powerful stories like this one. Thanks for watching.